Welcome to the Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It that's worth listening to. With us tonight, Arnie, the one-man party. There he is, Mr. Arnie Callego. Mr. Daily Dares, a.k.a. Filipino Grigio, a.k.a. Alex Callego, the Brothers Callego. Mr. Ghost Nerd 88, a.k.a. Justin Holden. And then there's me, Boots Too Big, a.k.a. Adrian De La Torre. And tonight we are discussing, fresh off the presses, in the sense that it just came out last year, 2025, Yorgos Lanthimos film, Bugonia.
All we've lost, all that's been done to us, we're setting that right again.
Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying the Earth. Starring Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Aiden Delbis, I hope I'm saying that right, and of all people, Stavros Halkias, who I never thought the host from Cumtown would be in a major motion picture, but there he is.
Wait, what's this?
And
From Cumtown?
there's a famous podcast called Cumtown. It was kind of like Poor Decisions, but like dialed up to 12, because they talked about some shit on that stuff.
Is that the guy who plays the cop?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
I thought you were going to say, are they going to mention Alicia Silverstone?
I was just going to say, Alicia, I didn't realize, was that the mom? That was the mom, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone. But yeah, that's Bugonia. So I went in blind. First of all, did I choose this movie? I did choose this movie. It was me, I think, right? And I chose it because I think it's a great film. It's weird. It's very accessible, like Yorgos Lanthimos. If you don't know, Yorgos Lanthimos makes weird movies. Like, they're good, they're interesting, but they're very strange. Like Killing of a Sacred Deer. What's the other one that he did that I watched?
Poor Things.
The Lobster.
Poor Things.
Well, Poor Things is also fantastic, but I think Poor Things and Bugonia are very accessible, whereas like The Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer are a little bit more on the weird side. I have yet to watch the one he did after Poor Things. What was that one called? I should have had that pulled up. It was also with Emma Stone and...
Yeah.
What was it called?
Was Emma Stone also in Poor Things?
Borhorschmidt.
Oh.
Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah.
I've yet to watch that.
I need to watch that too.
But Poor Things, also highly recommended. Emma Stone, it's funny, it's dark, it's emotional. And so is this movie. This movie took a very dark turn in some points, which we'll get into. But yeah, so that's why I chose it. I thought, God, there's so much to unwrap here. So let's do it. And yeah, who watched it? I think, Arnold, you watched it just barely tonight or last night, right?
Over the course of 3 days.
Over the course
3 nights. But I came in clutch.
Yeah.
And I finished it within the last hour.
Okay, so and let's say really quick. We'll first of all, and Alex brought this up. Big spoilers ahead. We're gonna spoil the hell out of this movie. So if you haven't seen Bugonia yet, now's your time to turn this off, and then come back when you've watched it. So.
If you want, you could just only tune in at the 30-minute mark, the 1 hour mark, and the 1 hour and 30-minute mark if we make it there.
Yeah.
Just on the video part.
How about you do what we did with Rocky Balboa and let it watch itself for you?
Exactly. And I want to give a quick shout out. HLP's in the chat again. HLP sent us a music file to use for the Snooze-O-Meter segment later, which I uploaded, and we're going to see if it works. But, let's just wait for that. So anyway, yeah, spoilers ahead for Bugonia, but here we go. Right off the bat, I want to go around the room and I want to ask, I want each one of you guys to tell me, at what point did you realize, or did you think, oh, she is an alien for sure? Arnold, I want to start with you. What was the point, if any, in the movie where you're like, oh yeah, she's definitely an alien?
In the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Same. Yeah.
I thought, that it had me going the whole time. And I make it, gosh. Well, one thing I was thinking about was, did anybody look up what Bugonia means, or did anybody look up the title?
I think it's like
It's a flower, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a flower that bees like, or something.
Well, I chat GPT'd it, and
Hold on, wait. You chat GPT'd it, or you actually chat GPT'd it?
No, I did, and
What was your
Bugonia,
result?
the word itself refers to the idea a delusion where insects and humans blur together.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
it's like and it's some people believe it, and some people.
So-
and I can kind of see that with some
To
people.
counter that, Google's AI says that it's an ancient belief, especially Greek, that honeybees could spontaneously generate from the decaying flesh of
Yeah.
a sacrificed bull or ox.
Oh, of a bull or ox.
And I'm going to do some research without looking on devices. And Bugonia is a slice of meat you put on sandwiches.
And then
it's delicious.
and then Stankonia is an album from the Outcast.
Yeah, there you go.
I was
doesn't
thinking of that
enjoy
too
A good begonia and cheese sandwich with a side of chips.
while listening to that Stankonia album.
Thank God. So Arnold, so you're like me. The whole time I was thinking, oh, it's just a play. She's not really an alien, obviously. Jesse Plemons' character thinking that. How did you feel with the big reveal that she was in fact an alien, Arnold?
I was like, what? And I've got to rewatch this again because I'm
It'll
sure.
recontextualize the whole thing for you.
Yeah, it changed, and even like looking up what Bugonia means, I was like, hold on, wait, what? And so I'm hoping that like with this chat, we'll be able to digest this a little bit better.
Yeah.
And maybe even again then rewatch.
Yeah.
Because man,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Justin, at what point, if any, did you think that she was an alien?
It was, for me, I was kind of like, oh man, like I think the plot twist here would be that she actually is an alien. And I kind of believe that there are certain points in time where I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna take like the safe way out, and she wasn't an alien. And the lesson learned is, don't believe conspiracy theories, things like that. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be the easy way out. But I really appreciated that they just went full force with it at the end there, and revealed that she actually was an alien, and everything that he, was theorizing was actually correct, which
Right.
was pretty insane. But I also think that there was a little bit of room in the beginning that made it seem a little more predictable.
Right.
There were a few scenes where I'm like, yeah, I could see how this is immediately going to... I didn't know how it was going to go about. I just knew, I was like, all right, they're going to reveal that she's an alien, or maybe Jesse Plemons' character is an alien, or even his cousin might have been an alien. But that was,
Man.
that was,
You guys
that
are
was,
you guys are good. Like what little things tipped you on that?
for me personally, it was just like little hints here and there. Is because when it comes to the bees, I think that was kind of sort of like a dead giveaway, because if you think about it like this, and if this is too far-fetched, let me know. But I think that as beekeepers, like, they're invading a space. Technically, to bees, I'm assuming we're like these giant alien monsters to them, invading their space and, stealing their resources and things like that, which is exactly what Jesse Plemons' character was like revealing. He's like,
That's a great point.
you're here to like steal our resources, and he knew like how many humans were left as well. Like he believed everything. So I feel like in this situation is like, we're the bees, and yeah,
They're coming after my
Dang.
honeycomb.
but
Good, man. Jeez, that
but at the same time, it's like there's a bunch of little things here and there throughout the movie where I was like, okay, this is kind of leaning a certain way. I couldn't tell you which scenes in particular. It was just a combination of little instances that happened that made me be like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. But they also they did do their due diligence and throwing me off a little bit at the end there.
Right.
But we could talk about that later.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so Alex, yeah, at what point did you, if any, think that, oh yeah, she's definitely an alien?
I think it was the scene where they were they put her in through electroshock therapy, where they were playing Green Day.
Oh, that's
And
right. Yeah,
that scene really like, because he tapped
that
out.
was
He's like,
disturbing, by the way.
it was very, very disturbing. But like when he said like, yeah, this is the first time that it's gone past a certain voltage. And I was like, wait, it's gone past a certain voltage, and like this. So he's kind of insinuating that he's done it before, you know. And so what really confirmed it was when Emma Stone's character got into that little secret area, and she found all those things, and she like found like different people who had like, I guess, were, you know, captured by him before.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is like, so at that point, like Justin said, like there are points where they kind of throw you off the scent. They try to throw you off the trail, and then, excuse me. But that at that point was like, that was when I was like 75% like, oh, she is an alien. But there's like that sort of lingering feeling of like, maybe it's just like, you know, crazy. And then like, you know, and throughout the whole film, you're like, I think that's the whole point of the film, is like, it is this sort of always ebbing and flowing between us, like questioning whether or not she is or she isn't, you know. So you're going along the whole way, and you're like, man, you just don't really know. But it was that point when when they did the whole electroshock thing, that's when I was like more leaning towards that she is an alien. And then when she found that thing, I was like, okay, that's 75%. Like, I'm pretty sure she's an alien. Are you saying when
she found those bodies in like his closet in the basement?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which I want to talk about that, because that's really interesting, because basically, to backtrack a little bit, they capture Emma Stone at her house, which, by the way, was hilarious the way they did it. Like, they filmed it from the inside of her indoor pool, looking out into the yard, and you see Jesse Plemons and his cousin
Don
chase her down. And by the way, really quick shout out to that actor. So Don, Aiden Delvis. I hope I'm saying it right. This is only his second acting credit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, what was his first acting credit? Because I swear I've seen him in something else. I'm not sure, because he was in something called My Movie, starring Paul Dano. There he is again, Paul Dano, the great Paul Dano. So I don't know if that's a movie or if that's like a documentary. So really, this is his only real like movie acting credit, and he is in fact autistic, and like, he did such an amazing job in the role that he played. Like, he played it so perfectly. And I didn't know he was autistic until after the fact, and I was like, oh, wow. I thought that, he's playing autistic really realistically. Well, it's because he is autistic, but that's neither here nor there. He did a fantastic job. And it's him and Jesse Plemons. They take some kind of like, chemical castrating serum in the beginning of the movie, right? Yeah. Which I still don't understand.
I looked that up because
hold on,
the third time.
You don't understand
why they did
what were we saying? What were we saying, Harold?
Oh, I looked up what he injected him with.
Oh,
it was like progenerative something, but I remember it was basically like a birth control.
Oh,
but then it could also be used to treat prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But basically, the reason why they did that was because it was to remove those urges to clear the mind from any sort of thing that would make them reluctant, or like to inhibit them actually going through with the plan. Like, remember, at the very beginning, he's like, no masturbating, there's no screens, the only thing we use the screens for are to do research, and that's it. And it was like all about just training their mind to resist their control, that sort of thing. You had to have the really strong will. And in order to truly do that, you have to resist their own urges. You have to completely remove the desire to do that, and thereby doing the whole chemical castration, you remove that like primal urge to want to procreate.
Yeah. And that was just within the first 5 minutes of the movie. They're sitting around the campfire and doing that. Yeah. And again, I went in blind, so I was like, what is going to happen here? What's going on? And then we meet Emma Stone's character, and she's like this high-powered CEO, and she sits down to do like a video presentation or something. And she's like, you can tell she's very prim and proper and very professional, and she wants the script and the way she reads it to be perfect and stuff. And I guess that's why I thought for the longest time, almost up until the end, like Arnold, that she wasn't an alien, because the way Emma Stone plays this CEO type person was perfect. yeah, I could see her as like a CEO of a company. You know, like she's just so like professional and perfect at it. So
To be fair, at the very end, they almost got me that she wasn't. Like I feel like when she got Jesse Plemons into the closet and, you know, did the whole thing, I was like, oh dang, she really isn't. She's just like out, you know, smarting him, right?
yeah,
But then I was like, no,
I want to get to that.
This has got to be like a ruse, and it definitely is. Like, you know, we see what happens. You know,
It's so good the way, cause like it's a dark comedy for me, because the way they chase her down and she kind of kicks them and stuff, because they establish early on that she knows how to do, like, I don't know if it's karate or what she's practicing, but it's some form of like personal, you know, what do you call it? Protection, not personal protection. Martial arts skills that she has to protect herself. But they still capture her anyway. And they film it through the pane glass of her indoor pool, which is like perfectly framed, because it's like, here you have this rich, powerful CEO, and you're seeing her on the outside of her big, expensive house, and just like any other person, she's, you know, getting captured. And then they shave her head, which they really did shave Emma Stone's head, by the way. That was real.
Oh yeah, I read that.
They shaved her head. They brought her to their house in like the woods or whatever. They brought her down to the basement. They put like their dead mom, or not their dead mom, Jesse Plemons' mom's coat on her, and they they cover her in lotion, because they say it's gonna prevent your alien brainwaves from
it was Benadryl.
Antihistamine.
Benadryl.
Yeah, and it's very intense, but it's also funny at the same time. And then Emma Stone is like very confidently like, you know, I'm a very powerful CEO person, and politics aside and bullshit aside, people are going to come looking for me. So it's really good. It's really better for you if we negotiate. And I can't do it justice, but she goes into this whole monologue, and Jesse Plemons is like, oh, wow, man, I feel, what did he say? I feel overstimulated right now, or something like that. Like after she gives her whole monologue, and what does he say? He says something like that, right?
Well, he got
something
like
along
frustrated,
those lines.
and
Yeah, he's like flustered.
No. He wasn't frustrated. He was more so like, wow, that was great. It was kind of like one of those things, like almost patronizing her. Oh, that was great. You know, he did you know what you're talking about. But at the same time, it was like he was already so convinced himself that what he was doing was right, that you know, whatever she was saying to him didn't matter, you know. And that was kind of like the whole thing about like the training that they were doing. It was just like a test of wills, you know. And like he was like almost like, well, my will is stronger. You can like say all the things you want to say, but I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do what's the most important for the planet Earth, you know.
Yeah, they go through a lot of back and forth, which I think was really well done. Because at first she's like, well, what is going on? People are gonna find me. Go ahead.
By the way, well, another thing that kind of tipped off, I thought this was really gross too, was that she was an alien. When they kneecap her, right, and it's broken, it's all messed up, and she's like moving it with her finger. Remember that?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
oh
Yeah, it's like, it's so gross. But then she gets up and she's walking around and it's like it's almost superhuman, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's another scene in particular where I was like, that's not normal for her to just go boop like that and it goes back into place. I'm like, nah. I'm like, okay, something's a little fishy with that kneecap movement.
That just brings to mind. So okay, Kobe Bryant. There was a time. It was a popular moment. You know, a lot of people will read. I've seen so many pages that will repost like when it happened. When he tore his Achilles, most players, when they tear their Achilles, you know, it's like really painful. They can't even put any weight on it. They can't even stand up. They need help. He went down, and then he's like it just looks like he's got a little owie. And then they weren't quite sure, but he ended up getting up on his own, and then like but he's definitely injured, and he got fouled, and he had to shoot free throws, and he has to shoot the free throws. And so just like just being able to stand up, it was like incredible. But then for him to go to the free throw line and shoot and make 2 free throws and walk away on his own, that was like was Kobe.
And you know what?
Well,
the human body is capable of some amazing things under duress.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why when she got up with the bad leg or whatever, I didn't think anything of it because I thought stress hormones are probably or not even stress hormones, but like adrenaline is probably what's powering
Yeah.
her right now.
Yeah, that's
And
what
like,
I
But
was
she's been
thinking.
going through. But she's been going
Yeah.
through like that. At that point, she's been going through so much. She must have been exhausted at that point, even with like,
Yeah.
you know, like I get the whole idea of adrenaline, but you still there's a point in time where your body still just crashes. Like adrenaline can only last so long in your
Right.
body. You know what I mean?
I just I want to go back to her in the basement initially because I really love the way they did that, the way that she goes through the motions with him. Because at first she's like, I'm not an alien, that's crazy. I'm a high-powered CEO. People are gonna come looking for me, so let's negotiate. And he's like, no, let me give you some time to yourself. And then they leave her, and then like they're watching her through a camera, and she's like crying and stuff. And honestly, that was the first moment I was like, she's obviously a human because we've seen her have this emotional moment by herself. She's crying. And then the next day she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm an alien. You're right. And Jesse Plemons is like, well, prove it. And then I forget what she says, but he's not convinced at all. And I think it's after that scene where they do the electroshock therapy on her, right? Am I correct in remembering?
Well,
It
I
was
think
just
so.
the way that she said it. Was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I am an alien. Like pretty much repeated what he said, or like
Yeah.
what he
Just
told
kind
her.
of like placating his ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good way.
here's,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, she goes through that whole thing, but you know, I think in Jesse Plemons' mind, he was because they even talk about it later on that he was thinking that she was this low level alien, but because she was able to withstand that much voltage, they're like she's definitely not just some low level alien. She's like got to be like probably the highest power person or like in their rankings, you know. So I think that's another thing that kind of tipped me off was like the fact that that was one thing, but the other thing was her ability to they were talking about it in the movie to like when she took on the human form, she was able to kind of become human, but she had to train herself. So the training got so like normalized for her that's why she was acting the way she was. So she had to almost revert back to who she was as an alien. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. And was that the things that tipped you off? I can't remember. Did that happen before or after the dinner upstairs? I can't remember now because she was wearing the dress.
The electrocution happened after or before the dinner.
Okay.
Because that's when he's like, I'm in the presence of emperor.
Yeah, the presence of yeah.
And also to give more context for Jesse Plemons' character, so his mom worked for her company, and I think she got sick or something, and she was under some kind of experimental drug made by her company, right? Is that what it was? And
Yeah,
then
Yeah.
he was mad because it wasn't working or it didn't work, and it was like basically put her in the hospital for the foreseeable future.
It left her in a coma.
I left her in a coma. Yeah, exactly. Left her in a coma, so he was upset about that. That's why he targeted her specifically.
And I thought that
makes
was
sense.
I thought that was the foundation of the story. Like,
Yeah.
he just got so crazy about this, and then started to think like, you know, like it was his way of getting back at her, and like.
And what did you think about the black and white flashbacks? And it's like, I think it's from his perspective or his memory, and the way he filmed it in black and white, and then like you see his mom, and she's kind of like floating in the air, and it's like very, I don't know what the word to use in that, but you know what I mean. It was very like
Hallucinogenic.
almost, yeah, I was like, this guy's seeing it in this
PCP.
very fantastical way. Yeah,
That's like,
I don't know. I kind of like the symbolism of him like holding onto his mom like a balloon. I thought that was pretty interesting.
oh, that's right, he was doing that.
I thought that was a beautiful scene. I'm like, oh, this looks kind of
Very
Banksy-ish.
yeah.
I feel like it was like
Yeah, so
there's the abstract nature of his mind, right? He was like the way he had to like uncover all of this alien stuff, right, you have to kind of think outside the box. And so his mind is naturally just kind of thinking abstractly. Like, so when he sees his mom, it's like it's sort of this bigger kind of abstract thing, you know, almost like hyperbolized, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really like the way he filmed that. It gave the movie that sort of weird vibe that I think Yorgos Lanthimos is known for. Because even like Poor Things has very like fantastical, almost, you know, yeah, like very like you're in a fantasy book. You know, the way he shot it and the lighting and all that. And this movie was also it was shot a lot differently. It was very warm and stuff, so it was a lot different. But what was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, so we touched on that. We touched on why Jesse Plemons' character. Oh, and then speaking of the dinner scene, I love the dinner scene because they're having a back and forth. I can't remember if at this point she's like still going along with the lie or if she's just like being herself or not. But she brings up his mother, and that pisses him off, right? What does she say that pisses him off though? There was some specific thing she said that I can't remember now that really set Jesse Plemons off.
Well, first she said her name,
yeah,
right? And then he was like, "Don't say it." And then she kept on talking more.
That's what it was. Okay, so she was just using her name, and he's like, "Keep my mom's name out your mouth," and then she didn't, right? And then he like.
It was also like her kind of elaborating on like the whole, like, we should have compensated. I see my mistakes now. We should have compensated you better for what had happened and everything like that. So that kind of ticked him off.
Yeah. And doesn't he say something like, "You don't know me. You don't really know my mother or me." And she's like, "No, I know you. I know you more than you realize," or something like that. Doesn't she say that? And then he's like, that also kind of pisses him off, right? And then I forget what he says, and then she responds with like, "Well, you know what? At the end of the day, what's the difference? Whether I know you or not." And I thought, oh, there's the CEO in her. There's the like apathetic, you know, corporate CEO person coming out. So that's really what kept me thinking like, oh, she's clearly like overly confident by the way she's talking to him in the scene. So they did a good job of not convincing me anyway that she's not an alien. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing though. If you think about it, comparing like say a rich, out of touch CEO with intergalactic alien, there's similarities in who they are by the sense that like they're both out of touch with humanity in a way.
That is a great point.
So that's why they're so similar.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the way Jeff Bezos laughs? Like, who laughs like that?
Exactly.
What person that's not a millionaire
like
laughs like
so
that?
Contrived or like
fake.
Like you saw this on TV or a movie, and that's how I should laugh, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I think Jeff Bezos is completely cut off from his little intergalactic mothership.
I think so too. And Elon Musk as well. You know?
Yeah, he wears a toupee.
The way he talks.
It's crazy. All these people in power all wearing toupees or hair plugs.
Hair plugs.
My hair is natural. I'm obviously not an alien.
Looks very You still have your hair,
amazing.
by the way. I'm jealous of that, Justin. So
I'm trying to keep it.
I hate the way Elon Musk talks. It's so non-human. It's like, we're going to... Like, who talks like that?
And a lot of them
all
laugh.
this money and you can't even talk right. Go ahead, Arnold. You were going to say
a lot of them laugh very similarly. I'm not sure if you've seen some of their videos. They're like,
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any videos like that.
For cock or something, right?
Like I don't know. It's some videos that I've seen. Like maybe I'll have to look for it for you guys.
We'll have a research
they laugh like
department
they got free coupons to KFC.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a great point. That is a great point, Alex, because I was really thinking in that scene, there's the capitalist overlord in her coming out, the way she's talking to Plemons. So let's go through it. So after that scene, are we at 30-minute mark? Here's the 30-minute mark. By the way, we have Chris, our special friend and friend of the show, and sometimes host Chris in the chat. So welcome, Chris. We were talking about
ex-coworker of Arnold.
Of Arnold.
Arnold, Chris, do you miss this? Do you miss watching this?
Yeah.
Every half hour at work?
Every half hour. He said, placating the male ego, our greatest weakness as men. Yeah, well, that's also true, Chris. But yeah, we have Chris and we have Healing Up to Prayer in the chat, so I wanted to give them a quick shout out. But anyway, so Stavros, this is where he comes in. And I want to talk about his character a little bit because he is important to the story.
That's
He's
not the
a cop. Which, by the way, I could never see a guy like him.
Isn't he a comedian?
He's a comedian. Who
Yeah.
used to, I was telling this to Arnold earlier. I can't believe the host from Cumtown is in a major motion picture. But Stavros is like a well-known Greek stand-up comic who has a very particular laugh. I like his laugh, actually. It's pretty good. And he's in this movie as a cop. And not only is he a cop, but he's Jesse Plemons' character's former babysitter. And when he comes over to ask questions about Emma Stone's character who's been missing, and obviously they have to like rush her away back downstairs and stuff, and his cousin is watching her, and Stavros and Jesse Plemons are talking and stuff, and Stavros is like apologetic about the time when he basically molested him as a child, and I was like, oh my god, like this just got even more dark. Like, what did you guys think about that? Did that feel out of left field, or was it on brand for this type of movie?
I felt like I thought it played into Teddy becoming who he is, like this conspiracy guy, this guy who, but you know, from what I interpreted at first was like, oh, just this guy who kind of went wacky and believes in aliens and stuff, and but yeah.
I think you're onto something there. I think
Like it
people who
contributed to that.
experience, I think people who
Trauma.
experience like extreme childhood trauma have more of a potential to grow up and believe in crazy things. I don't know, but I think there might be something to that. And then here's the thing: I had to get up and use the restroom, so I missed what kind of happened in between Stavros getting there and then Emma Stone being taken downstairs. Was that pretty much it, right? Or
Well, pretty much. I mean, so he took him out to the. You saw the part where he took him out to the
but
bees and stuff, right?
Why did he take him out to the bees? Did I miss that, or what was the reason for that?
They were
I don't
just
know.
getting him away from the house, and
That's what it was,
hoping
Yeah.
that he would like eventually go away, notice that nothing was wrong and everything was okay. But the moment that he heard the gunshot, he's like, "Well, fuck, plans foiled. Gotta kill this fucker." Yeah. Honestly, I feel like out of all the characters, I feel like that death was justified just because of the history. Because
Right.
like Jesse Plemons' character, what's his name again? What's his character's name?
Teddy. Sorry,
Teddy, yeah. So it's like, obviously they have some history, some pretty bad history.
Right.
But Teddy in that moment is like, I don't give a shit because I technically don't want you here. But anything you have to say is like whatever to me. So it's like, I think it's justified. I feel like in the moment he's like, well, he's gonna find out now because there's a gunshot in the house. So I'm just gonna have to kill this fucker, and there's no remorse to it because of that history. Everything would have been all well and done if the guy just left him the fuck alone. Like what was the cop trying to gain out of it? Like some kind of sympathy, some like oh, I accept your apology, when he doesn't have to do anything for this guy. And then he also used his police powers to pull him over, just to talk to him. What a piece
Earlier
of
in
shit.
the
That
movie.
guy,
Yeah.
earlier in the movie, that guy is a complete piece of shit all around.
Yeah,
I think it's justified.
Even took a piece of like the coconut pie or cake hadn't even been cut into, and he's like, my weakness.
I must have missed that when I went to the bathroom because I don't
Yeah,
remember.
he like insisted upon that he wanted the cake, but he was kind of like pushing for Teddy to offer it.
Yeah.
and that was a douchebag thing too. Also, that
he was
cake
like-
looked awful.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like
bro.
it was just like a store bought cake, and he was all like, kind of like hemming and hawing about like, oh, you haven't cut into it yet. I don't want to impose, and then like
I
Teddy
missed
is
that
the
whole
one who's
thing.
like, I guess I'll cut into it. No, he's like, no, I could cut it. And then
It looked like a
laughing, Adrian?
basic.
yeah,
It looked like a basic lemon cake with like just plain white frosting and was it coconut?
Yeah.
On it. I
Yeah,
was like,
'cause I love
this-
coconut. Are
What-
you laughing at you because of what HLP said?
Yeah, HLP said in the chat, he wanted to get that ass again. Jesus.
Oh,
Stavros wanted to get Jesse Plemons. Yeah. Let's not get too much into the child molestation.
But you know, that's the thing too. Like going further into what Arnold had mentioned about how it plays into his trauma. Teddy even mentions like, yeah, no, like I've delved into like alt left, alt right, you know, all the different parts of the thing,
all the different ideologies.
I've seen it all, and I know that all of it is wrong.
Yeah,
and that's how he got to that whole thing of like
Teddy's that guy from high school that you're friends with on Facebook for many years, and they never post anything, and then like all of a sudden they start posting this wacky conspiratorial shit, and you're like, okay, mute time, but to an extreme, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about the scene with Dawn and Emma Stone's character in the basement, because I was really rooting for Emma Stone here, and I really like that scene because she's trying to convince him to let her go, and he's like tries to tell her to shut up, and I think I know there was a point where he hits her with the gun, not in this scene, but I think earlier in the film he like kind of hits her because she's like talking too much. But anyway, he's got the shotgun, he's pointing it at her. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought maybe he was going to shoot her in the leg or something. I don't know. And then she's telling him all this stuff to try and convince him, like basically turning him against Teddy, I believe, right? That was the way she was framing it. She was like, if you let me go now, like you'll probably be fine. Teddy will be the only one who will get in trouble. And then he turns the gun on himself. But what was his reasoning? I don't remember that either. Like, what did he say? But right before he shot himself. Do you guys remember?
I can't recall. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to rewatch it again. Yeah. I think I was kind of unclear on that.
We also rewatched it.
She was telling him that like she'd be able to take him with her, basically to telling him like that she is
she was appealing to his conspiracy.
Yeah,
right. That's
and
what
she was like. I'll take you with me.
Right.
And then he I
what
guess
did he say?
I don't know. I guess he thought it differently. He was like, okay, let's do it.
Well, it's like he was very interested. He's like, oh, this is like our dream, but he loves Teddy. Like he genuinely loves his cousin.
Yeah.
He said it multiple times. He's like, oh, I can't leave Teddy. I can't do this to Teddy. I love Teddy. And that was his reason to not go, because he wasn't going to.
Because he didn't want to go alone
without his.
That's what it
only
was.
family.
Yeah. He had huge loyalty to Teddy.
Yeah.
And like quick side tangent though, going back to like that little closet space with all the like body parts in it. So there was a point in time, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but there's a point in time where Teddy is like talking about his family. Is that his family in there?
I did not read it that way. I thought that those were other people who Teddy thought were part of the controlling alien.
There's a part in the movie where they talk about how like all his family like.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. I was actually going to mention it at the very beginning. I think it's a way for him to kind of control his cousin. By saying like, I don't have any family. You're all the family I got. And I think that might be what you might be thinking about.
So he was using it to manipulate Dawn.
The thing is, I didn't look into it too much. I'm just like, oh, okay. Because this is where I kind of got thrown off. I'm like, oh, maybe like technically Teddy is an alien in some shape or form collecting body
Human
parts
bodies.
And things like that. Yeah. But I also like there was a point in time where I'm like, because they talked about the family and how the family was gone and things like that, I interpreted it as like he like thought that some of his family members were also aliens and just like chopped them up and killed them to like experiment on them like for his theories or whatever. But maybe I'm reading too much into that.
No, you might be onto something, but Healing Latropar says that 2 of them were aliens. So I think you're onto something. And I want to talk about that scene because I was expecting.
Are you talking about that 2 of the body parts were aliens?
Bodies in the closet?
No, they were. Because he even says it himself. He was like. She goes, how many did you find? Like, remember there's that scene where, like, Emma's like,
she goes,
how many of them were aliens? She goes, how many of them were aliens? I think she said, like, he gave a certain number.
Still, I was like, why the fuck are you going through the closet? Get out of there. Get out of there. But she's going through the closet, and then Teddy comes back after he shoots Stavros.
to see what he knows.
And yeah, she's like, how many of them did you kill? Or how many of them were whatever? And I was like, what? Like, what are you on right now? Are you still trying to appeal to his conspiracy theory? Like, why didn't you leave? And that should have been my first clue that she was an alien. But and so he said at that point there were 2 that he killed, right? Is that what it was, Alex?
Yeah, there was a point where she goes, yeah, he admits to being like, yeah, that a few of them were aliens. And for her to ask that question, like, how many of them were aliens, that kind of like shows that there's something like real going on there. Like
that should have been the first clue that she is not really a human.
Exactly.
But I still thought like maybe this is a gambit that she's trying to do something to convince him that she really believes. I don't know.
I was thinking about this too. This is like, if you think about it, this is like a masterclass of like really good twisting, like real plot twisting.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you look at like, say, somebody like M. Night Shyamalan, who just like does the twist at the end, like with Bugonia, the twists and turns, like they should be making you question yourself. Even you're like, I don't know if I know the right answer, and that's how like this is almost like a master class in good plot twists.
I loved it because once you realize that she is an alien, it recontextualizes everything that came before it. So like those little micro expressions in Emma Stone's face, because they really honed in on her face in the beginning there. And like you see the little twitches in her eyes and stuff, and you're trying to read her like, is she fucking with him or is she being real? Or
and that's the thing too, like why it's like it in comparison to, say, again, to M. Night Shyamalan, like you look at this and this is really worthy of rewatching. You watch it and you start to see like where you saw the truth being told, whereas like with M. Night Shyamalan, a lot of times you don't even really know, and then they just do this whole weird twist that's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll have like signs, but they're not really overtly there, or even like inadvertently there. They're just kind of like, they're laid out, and then they don't really make you think otherwise. Whereas in this film, it makes you question yourself, like I was saying.
Yeah, that's a great point. Healing After Power says that he says, I was thinking that she was wording it in a sense that there was no aliens to prove that he is crazy, but then he said that 2 were aliens. So that's interesting. Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, she's just trying to like show that he is crazy, even though he's right, but still she's trying to not defraud him. What's the right word? You know what I mean? She's trying to like show that he
gaslight him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for
what
the
I was thinking? Have you guys ever been gaslit like so bad? Certain things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was gaslit in high school when they said if you go to college, you'll get a great career and make
even to this day I get gaslit at work.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go.
So I don't know if Chris is still in the chat. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast before, but like there was like some potentially haunting things that happened in our office.
Some ghostly
that we couldn't
even
some ghostly things that we couldn't explain. And involving one of the Halloween decor, which is a skeleton hand.
Yeah.
Which we tried debunking and everything. And so we were still kind of on edge about that, right? And then then one day, and I would always, ever since then, I would always look and see on the shelf, okay, they're both there. And then one day I walked by and I'm like,
they're gone.
I was coming back from lunch. And then before going into my office, and Chris's office was right next to mine, I look, and then at the shelf, and then I was like, there's only one skeleton hand there. I'm like, where's the second one? So I started like feeling around. I look on the ground like, dude, have you noticed that the second skeleton hand is not here? He's like, are you serious? Don't mess with me. And I'm like looking around. He gets up. I I just barely came back from lunch.
Right.
And then
second lunch or third lunch?
One and only. And so we're like looking around, and I'm like, I don't know what the heck it is. So we're looking at some of the other people's office. They're like, it's not here. You guys aren't hiding it. You're not trying to mess with us. And so then we're like, well, I don't know where it is. So then I finally go back to my desk, and then I see the skeleton hand on my desk. I'm like, what? And then I go get up and go to Chris. I'm like, dude, it's on my desk. And he's like, shut up. And then I'm like, you did that. I'm like, he's like, I swear.
Yeah.
Like, and he legit looked like frightened. And then so we both get up, and I was like trying to pin it on my other friend Daniela, who shout out to her, who recommends a lot of movies and also listens to the podcast. And she like got mad. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And, she's like in work mode, and she's like busy and like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. And we're like, I'm still kind of like, no. But this goes on for like an hour and a half.
Bro, what? An hour and a half? Damn.
Arnold,
I would have quit.
to the point
Chris-
what?
I was going back and forth with him, and then he gaslit me so bad that I started thinking, like, did I put the skeleton hand on my desk, and was I the one who was trying to mess with them?
Yeah.
I honestly like started questioning that, and then we just
Arnold,
started laughing.
Did you ever see the movie The Others, Nicole Kidman?
No,
What if you're the ghost? Think
Don't
about that.
spoil it.
Think about that. Oh, I did spoil it. It's true.
What if I'm the ghost?
No, never mind. We'll cut that whole thing out.
Bruce Willis was the ghost
This
all
is a
along.
dream, Arnold. No.
It's okay. You had me at Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't yet watched a 25-year-old movie, it's kind of on you. So
Yeah,
Oh, it's
that's
25
true.
years old.
it came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Man.
Sheesh,
good.
man,
I
that movie's
raised it myself.
it's older than me.
But back to Bugonia. Where were we? Oh, yeah.
sorry.
So this is where the movie really takes a turn. And Emma Stone's character convinces Jesse Plemons' character, Teddy, that in order to get to the spaceship, we have to go to my office. And we'll go in there. Oh, wait, no. Let me back up. This is after she convinced him that there's a special formula in her car that will save his mom's life. But it's really just antifreeze. And he goes into the car, takes the antifreeze, goes to the hospital in a bicycle, by the way, goes upstairs to his mom's room and fucking puts antifreeze in her IV drip. What the hell is she doing this whole time? I can't remember. I thought she was going to... What was she doing while he was at the hospital? I don't even remember that
She was
now.
looking in that like closet under the
That's
stairs.
what it was.
That's when she discovered all that.
Okay,
That's
so
when,
I missed
when her
that
knee
part.
got broken.
That's her knee.
sorta. Yeah. Yeah, I like the scene leading up to it. Okay, I just want to say that the scene where Don like shoots himself, I honestly didn't expect that. I did see it coming.
didn't expect it
like
either.
when it got closer and closer to it, I was like, what is this guy about to do? Like, he's completely unhinged at this point, and I'm like, damn, he can do pretty much anything at this point, and it would shock me. But the fact that he turned the gun on himself, I was like, damn, all this whole situation must have been eating him up on the inside. He has to try to like please Teddy, and then you have this other person that's like telling him all these like other things, like potentially great things. I think he just at that point just had it. And then when that happened, and then all that kind of just came full circle, where Teddy killed the cop, and then he went down, and he was going to use the shotgun on her and completely eliminate her. And then she used her manipulation powers,
Right.
her CEO powers, to convince even Teddy that that there's this miracle cure.
Yeah.
There's this yellow bottle in my car. It looks like antifreeze, but it's not antifreeze. It's actually the cure for your mom's condition, and it just happens to be in my bed. I think
That was
Teddy
great.
is so far disillusioned
Yeah.
with reality.
Yeah.
Like, although like his conspiracy theories ended up being completely true,
Yeah.
I think he was so disillusioned, just like Don, that they just both kind of lost it at the end there. Like, the gaslighting, the manipulation. Like, she's a pro. That's why she's CEO.
That's a great point. There you go.
That is why she is alien overlord or whatever. But my God, dude, the whole last scene there, leading up even all the way to, I think the moment where I was like, okay, maybe she's not an alien, was right up until that point when she was in the ambulance. The moment she was like, I'm okay, and then starts breaking free from the ambulance, that's when I was like, she is for sure
You've skipped
alien,
it, yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Alex,
But-
you were going to say
Well,
something?
I think what the big thing about it too was she recognized his loyalty and desperation to like do right by his mother, right? And so he would do anything for her.
She manipulated
and if,
him.
like he convinced, if she could manipulate him to like think that antifreeze was the thing. That's why he was like, Teddy, I'll leave you watch her, right? He like, I don't think he would have really wanted that to happen, like to have Teddy or not Don watch Emma Stone's character, but he is like, I got to do this. She said that's secure. So he gets on his bike, rides to the home care, the hospice, right, watching over the mother, and he goes over there and he like so desperately wants to save his mother. So he does this thing that is like, he doesn't even like want to pay attention to that. This could be manipulation. Because even though like he's trained himself, or he thought he was training himself to be strong-willed and like not like, that was the one weak point. Like even though they removed all the like the primal desires of like lust and all that sort of stuff, there was no way they could have removed that primal desire to take care of his mother. He loved his mother so much that this was the driving force to do it all, right? And so that was like the recognition of all that, And I think that's like Emma Stone's character,
like
like
when he got back from the hospital, right?
Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I can't remember. Like it,
I can't remember what he said to her, but I know that when he comes back, she tells him they have some kind of conversation about getting to the mothership, and she tells him in order to do that, we have to go back to my office. And then he's like, okay, fine. So they go to the office, and they go inside of her office, and everybody's watching, looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you see everybody standing up and all her employees and stuff. And they're like, well, what is happening right now? And then she's like, okay, go in the closet. I gotta type in a special code, and then it'll beam you up to the ship. And at this point, I thought, wow, she's really taking this way too far. Like, come on, there's like a 40 minutes of like, what's happening? And then she types in a code into this old school looking calculator thing. And I'm like, I thought she was like, what is she doing? And then all of a sudden there's an explosion.
Yeah, I thought she was typing in, like, how you can write boobies with a calculator. I was like,
exactly.
I was gonna pause it and be like, what is she?
She was typing in boobies,
like a code for her coworkers. But I'm like, no, this is like 98564.
That was her character, her alien character. At the very last moment is try to continue to convince this guy that like what she was doing was like the thing that was going to save humanity all the way up until the end. Just like it's just crazy, because in situations like that, I would look at this, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's obviously antifreeze. That's obviously just a stupid calculator.
Right.
I don't believe anything that you're telling me right now. Like any normal human being would be like, yeah, you're completely bullshitting me with this. This is,
but Teddy's a madman.
58-digit code on a calculator.
And then
I don't think calculators have 58 digits, too. But it's crazy.
The closet explodes. His fucking head comes out of it. Just his head blows out of the closet, and perfectly intact
he also
here up.
He also goes there with as a safety measure with explosives strapped to himself too. Remember that?
And that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and there was something about the electromagnetism, I think, that triggered the explosives to go off. Yeah. Right?
I thought he switched it on.
Yeah, the way I interpreted that scene was that like she was gonna count down and then immediately beam him up to the spaceship, and then he was just gonna suicide bomb the spaceship. That's what I thought what that was. But if it was more of like, oh, it was actually a teleporter, and then the bombs that he had around.
Are you saying she didn't intend to beam him up there? She intended to blow him up because she had to.
The way that scene was shot, and this is how I saw it, was that she was like backing away from the closet to probably go and move the couch to go talk to coworkers, they're all like concerned about her safety at
Right.
this point. You could see them in the background running
Right.
around talking amongst themselves.
Peeking
I'm assuming
in.
they're calling police and waiting for
Right.
police to arrive. And you know that police isn't going to get there right away. It's going to take some time. So this whole scene's going down with just like in a couple of minutes. So it's like he goes into the closet and then she's counting down. She's like, yeah, let me enter this 58-digit code. It'll beam you up to the spaceship and then I'll follow you right after. I think what he was trying to do to save humanity was sacrifice himself, get beamed up immediately after
And
the
then
count
blow
of
the ship
three,
up.
and then blow the ship up.
Okay.
That's how I interpreted
That's kind of what
that
I was
scene.
thinking too. But why would she, if she said she was an alien the whole time, why would she send a suicide bomber up to her mothership though?
Well, that's a very good point.
Yeah,
I think it was
he would get
it was
blown up.
along. Go for it.
He was doing it. He was wearing the explosives. He even says it himself. This is a safety measure for like what could happen, because like I think he understood that he was being manipulated by his by Emma Stone, and like he didn't want to be continuously being manipulated. So I think that's why he strapped those explosives onto himself. So like if she was trying to manipulate him again, like he would blow them both up because like it's already gone so far, and I think that's the reason why he strapped those bombs up those bombs to himself and like just to blow up him and Emma Stone. So,
But again,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering now, thinking about it, like why would she send somebody with bombs strapped to his chest?
No. She wasn't like. Here's the thing. She wasn't trying to intend to like. I think she knew that it was going to explode. Like he was going to like.
Oh,
I
okay.
think she
That
was
makes
trying
more
to blow
sense.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
she
so
was.
she was
knew
trying
she
to
was
kill
in-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that's why she was like moving all those things. Like she also blocked the door so nobody else could enter and like hurt themselves
right.
from the
Yeah.
possible explosion.
Yeah.
And I think she knew that was going to happen, but I don't know if she knew it was going to happen the exact way it was going to go down. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Okay. Now, so
That's
tell me
Damien.
this. So she blows up the closet. She gets taken in an ambulance. She gets out. She runs back to the office. She gets the fucking calculator again. And then she beams herself up to the ship. We see the whole process. She awakens in some kind of a gooey pool of something. And she goes and talks to like the alien board of governors or whoever they are, dressed in these wild, thick fur costumes, which were great, by the way.
They look really well made, hand
did look well
crocheted outfits.
Yes, I was gonna say crocheted. Like my Daniela, this is one I thought about. She crochets. I was like, man, she could make that.
Well,
I like the costumes. Yeah.
Doesn't it mean like didn't the costumes that they were wearing look like hair, just like all hair? So it kind
Yeah.
of like plays
Like
into
fur
the whole
hair.
idea that that's how they communicate to each other, right?
Oh, that's because they shaved her head. They
Oh yeah,
said
well
that
yeah,
to me.
they said that at the end too. They were
That's
like,
so-
"Oh, we
that's-
couldn't get in a hold of you because
Yeah.
your hair's gone."
That's right.
Yeah.
What was okay? So now explain to me the ending, because here's where I didn't fully understand. That they basically killed all of humanity because they said something about
Well,
two people.
they-
Who were those two people?
I think the two people were Teddy and his cousin, and they found out. That,
So not
that,
the
that
two
was
people that
going
they
on.
found in the closet. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no. But I think the whole thing was like it was. So the metaphor for the whole thing was like when it comes to the bees, it's Teddy and his cousin were like beekeepers, right? And there's a responsibility as beekeepers to help propagate bees, help them survive, because they were talking about like even how so it was there are like colonies that are dying off, colonies of bees that are dying off, and that like bees can like they're integral to the survival of the human race. They like all the food that we consume is affected by the life of bees, right? And so the metaphor for this was like the aliens were the ones that were still trying to help protect the human race. They weren't trying to hurt them. They were trying to Yeah, it's so they're the aliens were trying to protect but they by the end they're like, there's nothing we could really do. There's nothing that we could do to help protect them, the human race. So like they just kind of left them to their own devices, and then it's like, okay, well, let them be humans, and that's what they get.
Yeah. That's really good. Thank you for that. No, that's what I was wondering about. And then immediately after that, there's this great haunting montage of all these different vignettes all over the world of people dead, basically. Like they have a shot of people making love, and they have a shot of a surgery, and they have a shot of, like just all these. It's a montage. Well, gotta have a montage, right, Arnold?
The first one you mentioned, making love, that was not the first one, because it showed like.
Well, that was one of them.
Like in a museum with dinosaurs.
Let's get that right, because
but
Arnold
then I was trying to think.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, man, are they gonna show someone with people who are like who died while they're banging,
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, there we go.
I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad that they had that montage at the end.
I personally like that they really drilled in the flat Earth theory.
Well, yeah, because the final
with the
shot
ice
is
wall and everything, and it's like, oh shit, that's crazy.
I didn't even think of that.
I also like the little bubble that she popped, because I think that was literally them popping the ozone layer, the bubble ozone layer.
Is that what that was?
I think
or just the atmosphere.
I don't know a whole lot about the flat Earth theory stuff, but it just seems like
you don't want to know.
No, I don't. I quite honestly don't. But it's like, apparently there's this like protective layer that keeps all the oxygen and
firmament.
Gravity. Yeah, the firmament.
Yeah.
So they popped it. They control popped it.
Yeah, the religious nutsos on TikTok like to talk about the firmament anytime. There's this, not to go too much of a side tangent, but there's so much pseudoscience bullshit that gets shared on TikTok, and like it's always the firmament, or really actual flat earthers, or just crazy people, the Teddies of the world, saying this stupid shit. But anyway, go on. I don't want to go too much of a tear about it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I thought that was great.
You know that movie Don't Look Up? I feel like that.
Yeah,
that kind of coincides. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was an interesting take, but
never seen
it's just like it's just like there are probably going to be people out there that are going to be like, they're like, Bugonia is exactly what I'm talking about, and you should watch it because everything that movie proves is true, and it's backing up my claims. I feel like it's a little bit of a dangerous territory, in my opinion.
I get what you're saying. It's like those guys that like watch Fight Club and they think that Tyler Durden is like, an alpha.
I was once in my life that I watched The Matrix. I don't know. I've seen it probably 100 times.
Yeah,
and I honestly thought that there was a possibility. But then, I was also heavily into drugs back then. So,
but to be fair, Arnold, scientists have floated the idea that we are in a virtual reality. I mean, there's no proof. The actual scientists have floated, the possibility that we're in some kind of a virtual, hologram shit.
Haven't they also said that, they were able to prove that, what is that, alternate dimensions do exist as well?
Yeah. Well, they do exist on paper, but how do we get to an alternate? How do you physically do that? There's...
how I know that that's not true is because everything sucks. Everything fucking sucks.
Actually,
I want to die every day.
How I know it's not true, Justin? Because, I thought, I've had this idea where, what if the world that I see is just all in my head? Like, what if you guys right now are not real, and healing laughter power, God forbid, is not real? You know what I mean? And it's all just in my head. But then I think, wait, so I made up Beethoven? I wrote Shakespeare?
Isn't that what Sucker Punch was all about too?
That's a good point.
About five
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That was a Wachowski movie as well, right?
No, not
Snyder.
Punch. That was Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Oh, Snyder, right.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
Well, there's another movie that the Wachowskis made that was kind of, that dived into, not it wasn't just The Matrix, it was something else.
Speed Racer. Jupiter Ascending or something like that.
Speed Racer.
Anyway.
What I was going to say, because you guys were saying about, the proof, it's because they haven't got their hands on the pudding, because the proof is in the pudding.
I did not consider that, Arnold.
What
That's a good
brand of
point.
pudding, Arnold? What brand of pudding?
I'm not quite sure, but it's the big can. Oh, it's the brand
Oh,
of
the
the one.
cans.
It's the brand
It's
of the
off,
one.
It's off brand.
You remember in not Breaking Bad, Walking Dead?
Yeah.
When the little son, I forget, Carl, when
Coral.
he was sitting on the roof and he's eating a thing of pudding. It was that brand.
Also, that's the proof. He ate the proof, so it's no longer
Proof
exists.
is in his
Yeah.
bowel movement.
He ate the thick skin at the top when you first open it.
All right, guys, that's the movie. That's Bugonia.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic film. Let's go around the
That
room and
was,
give our
man.
final thoughts and our socials. Justin, I'll start with you. What are your final thoughts on Bugonia?
Oh, I'm first today. Wow. Bugonia.
You're
Yeah,
always first when we're in this setup, but it's
Yeah.
four of us without
Do
Donnie.
we all? This is the setup. I'm top up here, and then
Oh, well, no, not that. I mean, like,
Oh,
when it's
what are you talking about?
the core four, the core five, I always start with either
Oh,
Donnie
you start
or
with me
you, and
first.
then I go,
interesting.
reverse
Sounds racist.
alphabetical
Anyway,
order.
Bugonia. First time watching it. I really enjoyed it. So here's the thing. I have not seen Poor Things or any of the other movies y'all talked about, like The Lobster or whatever. I haven't seen any of those movies yet.
Forget the lobster. Watch Poor Things. Watch Poor Things.
I'll probably
Trust me.
watch it all eventually, but I will watch Poor Things eventually. But who was the director of this movie again?
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Okay. And they did Poor Things as well.
Yes, he did Poor
Well,
Things as well. Yeah,
Well, I fucking hate that guy. No, I'm
I
just
think
joking.
he is his pronouns.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was a wonderful movie. It was a wonderful dive into the other side of conspiracy theories. I've dabbled in it a long time ago. I had a coworker that got me really into like whenever like celebrities do like the triangle and the Illuminati and the all seeing eye shit, and
Yeah,
like I actually got pretty heavy into it because of my coworker. There's nothing else better to do when you're working overnight security and then you have you
guys
the
can talk
officer
truth,
that you're
right?
relieving, and then like not like that though. But when you're talking to them, like you start to kind of like understand where like they're coming from, and I like to listen to people. I like to learn about people. I like to know what makes them tick to a certain extent. So he kind of got me into it.
Did he talk
And-
about Bohemian Grove?
I don't know about that. I found out about that a little bit later, but I was more into like how, because he was like a religious conspiracy theorist, so a lot of it was like religion in movies and like the signs of the devil and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I could see what you're talking about. I could see the symbolism. It's interesting actually seeing like another side to it, another story, I'll say, and I found it really intriguing, knowing that like this guy could potentially be crazy, or he could be potentially like telling the truth and knowing his shit about this like alien race kind of like taking over Earth in a way. And it was relieving to me to find out that it was like she was an alien all along, even though they gave us like multiple different pathways. It kept me on the edge of my seat trying to figure out like, is this guy just crazy, or is he knows something that nobody else does? And it's like they never really give you a whole lot to work with, and that's kind of like how you see people on the internet or in public, and it's like, maybe there's something that happened to them in their personal life that has made them bend into this certain ideal. And I completely understand, and I think this movie kind of helps me understand them a little bit more. Not saying that I'm gonna fully like convert and believe everything, but it's like I understand like sometimes traumatizing things that happen to people give them this idea of life that is now their truth, and maybe it is a little bit of like a mental health disorder type of thing. But at the same time, it's like there's things that I know, that I believe, that other people will just completely disagree with me on. And that's okay, and I think that is completely okay for as long as you're not hurting other people, I think it's fine to believe what you want to believe. And I think that this movie allows you to kind of like make that realization that you don't. It's best to do the research yourself, figure it out for yourself, and make that your reality. And I think this movie does a great job with questioning both sides. It allows you to kind of be like, oh, I'm kind of on Jesse Plemons' side, I'm on Teddy's side, or I'm on Emma Stone's side. It's like, I understand, because there's people like killing and kidnapping like CEOs all the time. This movie is so relevant today, and I think it is definitely worth a watch. The theming of it, there's certain scenes in this movie that I think are really well done, especially the black and white, like memory pass scenes. Very well done. Very beautiful, very symbolic, and like I said earlier, it does give me like a Banksy kind of vibe. Like, even though this is, a motion picture, it's like a motion picture version of like what a Banksy art piece would be like. At least it reminds me of that. But I had thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was very thrilling, very funny. I love the dark comedy aspect of the whole thing, and I just love. And there's something like fun for me personally about conspiracy theories, is that like, yeah, I'm not a true believer on a lot of things, and I am a true believer on some other things. But it's really fun to kind of, dive into it, not hurting anybody else, and just kind of be like, what if this happened? What if? I like what ifs as long as it's not hurting people. I know it's beating a dead horse at that point, but it's just like, I just want to reiterate that it's okay to believe what you want to believe and do what you want to do. Just don't hurt people while you're doing it. Anyway, I give this movie a solid 5 out of 5. Follow me, GhostNerdy8 or Shibs the Zombie, on Letterboxd, social medias, and all that good stuff. And next.
Oh, great points. Thank you, Justin. All right, Alex. Final thoughts, and where can people find you?
Hey, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna be kind of co-signing with like what Justin's saying with my analysis. You look at what the like Jesse Plemons' character, Teddy, and Emma Stone's character are all about. But repeating what Justin said, you don't know the full context of either side, right? And you don't know the effect of what like their beliefs are, to each other. Like, for instance, you see the ending. Jesse Plemons, he believes that he believes that the aliens, but he believes that they're here for malintent. Whereas Emma Stone, her character, the aliens, she's not there for malintent, but they're also still stumbling through the whole process. They're not perfect. They're flawed. And so they make mistakes with trying to help Jesse's mom, with trying to help her from like addiction. And they saw the error of their ways. Even at the very beginning of like how she's like kind of changing the culture of the workplace. You don't have to stay here to finish all your work. If you have work you have matters that need to be attended to, take care of them. But I don't want you staying past 5:30 if you don't have to. Remember that. Like, she talks about like changing the culture and make it better for everybody and more healthier. So she really is there to help in that small sense, to help that company and the people that work there be better. She just has been stumbling through trying to fix everything, right? But in the grand scheme of things, the aliens coming down and trying to help the people, they did it. And they're like, these people are so strong-willed and they don't want, they're just messing with like what we're trying to help them with. So maybe we should just leave them alone. And so they leave. And then that's what happens. Humans die off at the end of the movie, right? So it's kind of like what Justin was saying. You don't know the full context of anybody's like sort of ideas of what they're trying to go about. And again, like another huge theme of empathy. You think it's not real. People think it's just this man-made thing, but it's real. Empathy is real. And so you have to that's where empathy comes into play, right? You have to put yourself in other people's shoes, even though you can't fully ever do that. You can never feel what anybody else's cognition. So that's the whole thing. It's like, it helps us understand better that this sort of seeing the other people's sides. But again, agreeing with Justin, believe what you want to believe, just don't hurt anybody else. Don't let what you believe in hurt other people. And that's the whole moral of the story that I very much agree with Justin. Just because you believe in something doesn't mean, like, you shouldn't be kidnapping people. Maybe you think you have some sort of control and, like, maybe you're, like, your forceful way of doing things, but you're still just gonna end. He ended up hurting, like, his cousin, who shoots himself. And that policeman, even though, it's almost kind of justified that he was abusive to Teddy, but at the same time, that's still another life who was, in a strange way, who was trying to find redemption from his past wrongdoings to Teddy. And maybe it was like a selfish way of, like, him trying to find redemption, because he was like he obviously was trying to do it out of, like, selfish reasons to, like, remove that trauma from his own conscience. But at the same time, we all deserve some sort of redemption. And, like, if especially those who see the wrong doing in their ways, right? So how we go about it can also be hurtful. But at the same time, this whole movie is an allegory for that. For me, I can't remember I scored. I think I put it down as a 4.5 star on Letterboxd. I think it might even been a 5, but it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And you can find me at Daily Dares on all the socials.
Thank you for that, Alex. And to touch on your point really quick, you shouldn't kidnap people. You're right, but our CEOs really people. I mean, come on, are they?
They might be. Intergalactic aliens who are trying to destroy the Earth, right?
Intergalactic. Okay. Arnold.
Luigi.
Arnold, my friend.
So,
what are your final thoughts?
Yes, my friend. Oh,
THOUGHTS, not THOTS.
oh, that completely puts things in a different context. I wasn't ready for that. Give me a minute. All right.
Re-downloading. Now you're the alien.
Am I? Am I an
or the
alien?
ghost. Might be the ghost.
No, man, this movie had me going. Like, I honestly thought it was just, Teddy, he's mentally ill, and that Emma Stone, she really is, like, this CEO that Teddy, that he's stringing along his poor little cousin. He's dragging him along this whole time down with him, with him getting back at the CEO and for what they did to his mom. I honestly thought it was that all the way. Not until, like, not when Don shoots himself, not when Emma Stone's fixing her kneecap, not when he's looking at the bodies and stuff and the body parts. It was all the way when she gets transported to. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, that really got me good there.
Yeah.
And
same.
It was like I hadn't felt a moment like that from a movie, like, in a while. I don't know.
Since War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise.
Well, Tom Cruise. I think I've seen that.
Since The Sixth Sense, when it turns out Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Oh yeah,
Since The Last
maybe
Samurai.
Since the others.
I like that movie. Samurai.
Last Samurai. Fire Unte.
Since M. Night Shyamalan's The Village Side.
Or no, not Home Alone.
Yeah.
With
Just
this,
a little bit.
I love a movie like that and stuff like that. I want to watch it again, and especially after talking about this, and especially after looking up on ChatGPT what Bugonia means. And I just there was one thing that I wanted to read, and
please.
I'll finish. A thought that I'll finish with this. How Bugonia is. It's this concept of false life emerging from decay, from decay. Yeah, not the letters D and K, but emerging from decay. So what do you think the movie is saying is decaying right now? Trust in institutions, human connection, media literacy, mental health support, masculinity, power, capitalism. I don't know.
I like it.
So, thanks, ChatGPT, and so.
No, you came up with that, Arnold. You came up with that.
It gave me the ideas, and I was just. Those are actually notes that I wrote down, and
notes
also
from a scandal,
and also from the live chat that I also have on my own page. They were chiming in and gave me the ideas that
I forget you have your own side chat now.
Jotted down.
That's populated by just you.
What?
www.arnold.html .com.
Yeah, so yeah,
It's
I
just
really,
a Word doc that he's writing to himself.
It's an offline live journal.
It's www.creed.com.
Creed, like the band.
No,
No,
from
like-
The Office.
Oh,
I just heard the news today.
That's copyright strike.
I initially gave this movie a 4.20, but I have to give it a 4.5.
Wow.
4.5
Wow, wow,
out
wow.
of 5.
Nice.
HLP says, how does he get into your chat? He wants to be in that chat.
Oh, my bad. I'll have to.
I'll send you an invite later, HLP.
Yeah.
Slide into his DMs.
It keeps going on and off, and for whatever reason, it's like really weird. But we can talk about it later. I'll make sure that
He'll
that
invite
gets
you to
in
the
there.
chat, HLP. the janky chat.
Janky chat, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it's called. It's janky chat.
Where can people find you, Arnold?
Arnie Kalego everywhere. Letterboxd,
Nice.
Instagram, TikTok. That's where I'm at.
All right, cool. All right, well,
And,
this is the part of the show. It's my favorite part. This is the Arnold snooze-o-meter. Let's see if this works. Do you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that was it. That was your intro. Here, I'll play one more time in case you missed it. Is that a ball gag, Justin? Jesus.
No, I thought Justin was playing that.
It looked like it. Here, I'll do it again.
It looked like.
Is that one of those?
Play it one more time. Play it one more time.
Okay,
One more time. One more time.
All right, Arnold, snooze-o-meter time. Go ahead.
Meter. Okay,
Can we
the
afford that?
Yes.
The truth is, this movie, it took me 3 days to watch it. But okay, so
Don't say where you watched it.
so the episode that we recorded previously is Sucker Punch, and so I was on a roll. I was like, okay, just watch that movie. Let's do this one now. I'm on a roll. I thought I was good, but then 20 minutes into it, I fell asleep, and it was probably like 12:30 or so. So I was like, all right, tomorrow I'll take another crack at it. And I also started watching it late, and fell asleep again. Third time's a charm. But still, I'd have to say, with my full attention on it, like today, with 0 Z's. But then because I did fall asleep the other times, it was like a half a Z. But so to average it out, a quarter Z.
Oh,
A quarter Z.
it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Thank you,
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah, my
For
pleasure. Adrian, a.k.a. BOOTZ, too big. Best for last, what's your final thoughts?
Well, thank you, Arnold. Yeah, I'll just read my letterbox review. Bugonia is an absolutely wild movie in the best way possible. It's one of those movies that grabs you from the very first scene and never lets go. Yorgos Lanthimos directed this movie, written by Will Tracy. It takes a simple premise and turns it into something completely unpredictable. Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap a high-powered CEO, convinced that she's an alien plotting to destroy the Earth. What follows is a tense, bizarre, and darkly funny descent into paranoid control and the fear of the unknown. Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons both bring their absolute best to this movie. The way they act with just their faces is incredible. Every tiny expression finds meaningful. Every silence says more than dialogue ever could. Plemons has this unnerving intensity that keeps you on edge, while Stone plays her role with a strange calm that makes you constantly question what's real and what isn't. Their dynamic alone could carry the film, but Lanthimos makes sure that every moment feels like a psychological game you can't look away from. Tonally, Bugonia balances darkness and absurdity better than almost anything I've seen this year. It's unsettling, yes, but also funny in that deeply uncomfortable Lanthimos way. The tension builds in unexpected directions, and just when you think you know what's happening, it flips everything around. Thematically, it reveals a great deal about conspiracy culture, blind faith, and the way people seek meaning in chaos. There's even a sly message about how maybe all of us could stand to touch grass, or maybe the problem runs deeper than that. I can honestly say there's nothing I disliked about this film. Every scene had me wondering what was going to happen next. This might be Lanthimos' best work yet, and the same goes for Stone and Plemons. You have to see it to believe it. 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. That's my review. You can find me on Letterboxd at Boots Too Big. You can find the show everywhere else. We're on Blue Sky, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on Facebook and X. neverseenitpodcast.com and email us podcast.neverseenit@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Have you watched Bugonia? What's your favorite conspiracy theory? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you like the show, share it or leave us a review. It really helps us out. Big thanks to Mr. Kyle Maps and a Burn Cycle for our intro music. You can follow Kyle at selfies_food_and_pets. Big thanks to HLP for the harmonica music for Arnold Snooze and Eater segment. It's great.
Hell yeah.
And thanks for listening. Any final thoughts from the gentleman? And we have you here tonight, Justin. Any final thoughts?
Oh my god, you guys, I think I'm getting abducted.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?